Hello, and welcome to the kitchen edition of using Blender for video editing. Today, we're going to do some baking. Our recipe calls for 1 part audio file to 2 parts image file, and the directions are to simply toss everything into the video sequence editor and then click some stuff in the graph editor. That's right, folks, we're going to learn how to animate our strip properties using the volume of our audio files. Sounds like fun, let's get to it. Alright, so here we are in our first scene, and as you can see we have 2 strips. We have this image of a drum kit, and we also have this sound file. So let's go ahead and play that now, just for a few seconds. Okay, so you can hear that we've got some drums going on, and plus some guitar. What we're going to try to do is get the size of this image to change according to how loud the music is. Now, to get started, we're going to have to go into the strip properties for the image and set a keyframe so that once we get into the graph editor, we can point it to that property that we want to animate. So I do want to make both the X and the Y scale grow and shrink with the sound of the audio file, but for now I'm just going to click over here to set a keyframe on just scale X. Now let's go over here to the file browser, click that button and change it to graph editor, and let me adjust the sizes here. Okay, we don't need that yet, so I'm just going to press the N key to make that go away. Okay, and now from here we can just go to key and bake sound to F curves. Now F curve is the curve on the graph editor that visualizes the change of the property over time. Okay, so we're going to click this and it's going to pop open this whole file dialog box. And within it we are going to go and find that same file, because that's the important part. You want to match everything up to the sound that we will be hearing as well. And that is this one right here. You'll see we have a whole bunch of options over here. You can toggle that on and off with this gear button, but we're not going to talk about that now. Okay, now let's just click the Bake Sound to F Curves button here. And voila, you can see, now if I go over here and maybe just hit the home button on my keyboard, you can see there we go, there we have some sound. And it actually does line up to this sound here. But you'll also notice that the image has disappeared. And it's disappeared because, now if I zoom in over here, you can see the first split second, there's no sound at all. So that means that that lines up to a value of 0. Because what we're doing is we're taking the power, the strength, the amplitude of the audio file, and we're using that as our animation. So 0 here results in the 0 over here, and it's only right about this point when we can start seeing things happening, right? So if I just use the arrow key to go through, you can see it is growing and shrinking, matching the shape of the waveform. Let's go ahead and hit the play button now so you can see how that goes. Pretty cool, right? Now it's a little bit weird looking because it's just the X going on. So what we could do is we could also try to apply this same thing to scale Y. But what I prefer to do when I want to make the entire thing grow and shrink is to add a transform effect. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this off. I can go over up here and say channel, delete channels. That gets rid of all of that. Make sure this is set back to 1 so we can have our normal image. Now I'm going to go over to here and say add effect strip, transform. So now we have our transform effect strip, and you can see this property right here, I can check this for uniform scale, and now I have a single property that we can animate. So again, we need to set a keyframe, and I can just press the letter I on my keyboard to do that. Now, before I do the baking again, I just want to point out that we want the time cursor to be at the very start of the strips, especially the audio strip. Otherwise, it won't be in sync, because once we do this process, it's going to set it up starting from where the time cursor is. Okay, so let's go again to Key, Bake Sound F Curves, and I'll just pick that same file, click the button, and there we go, and now I'll just hit the play button. So now you can see we've got both the X and the Y being scaled based off of the sound. What we do want to do right now to fix this problem right at the beginning, where there is no audio and therefore the scale is being set to 0, we can force it to have at least a certain value for this beginning part. And to do that, we're going to add a modifier to the F curve. So you can do that from here. You go up to Key, and you say Add F curve modifier, and we're going to pick the limits, which allows us to set a minimum Y value. So I'll go ahead and check that, or click that. It's not visible right now, but you can click on this little arrow up here or press the N key on your keyboard to pop that out. And then over here, just like we have these different tabs within the video sequence editor for strips, over here we can see that's the F curve. We want to go to modifiers. So click that, and there's that limits. We want to set a minimum Y value. And I can raise that up a bit. Just use this arrow here to make it at least that much. And then here you can see now it's always going to be at least that minimum value. I don't want it to be in effect for the entire duration of the clip, just the first split second. So what we can also do is say restrict frame range. So this modifier only acts within a certain set of frames. And let's see here, we need it to go from the beginning up to this point, which is 4th frame. So I'll just type in 4 over here and then back this up and maybe hit the refresh. There you go. So pressing Control R for refresh. And now you can see we've got our image. So it's set at a stable 0.3 scale. And for the first 4 frames, oh, actually, I guess I need a bit more than that. Let's go one higher. Oops, say 5. Let's hit the refresh again. How's that look? There we go. After that, the limits modifier is no longer in effect, and then it's free to follow the amplitude of the sound that we fed it, and that's what's going to control it going forward. Alright, so we've used the limits modifier, and that has helped us with the beginning, but we still have this problem where the scale values really only go from about 0.2 to 0.6, and that turns out to be quite small. So what we can do is add another modifier that changes the range here of values that we get. So to do that, we can go up to here, click Add Modifier, and this time we pick Envelope. So it's been added, and we need to scroll down to see it. So for today's video, I'm not going to go into detail explaining how this modifier works. I'll just show you how you can use it to change the range of values that we get when we do this baking. We're going to start by going back to the beginning of the scene, and then we can click on Add Control Point. So there it's adding this control point which starts at the first frame, and we just need to fiddle with these numbers here. So it's taking what we have here as the reference and then modifying. And what we want to do is we want to expand this range. So I'm going to change this. I'm just going to increase this value here. Let me zoom it out here so I can see better, because I want it to actually get to the 1.0 value. Okay, so I'm just going to keep increasing that. And then I'm also going to decrease this to increase the overall range. I'm just going to keep playing with that until I get something that looks more like what I want. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and play this now. I'm going to hit the refresh here, Control R with that, and then hit the play. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. And now we can move on to talk about those options from the bake sound to F curves pop-up that we only briefly mentioned before. But before we do that, let's switch over to the next scene. Okay, so here we are in our next scene. You can see we have the drum kit and the same audio file. And you can see that here as well, I used a transform effect strip. We were animating the uniform scale, and once again, baking that same sound effect. So as we go through it, you can see it is increasing and decreasing in size according to the sound file. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to animate this new image, which is this strip up here. We are going to animate it only when there is a high-pitched sound in our source file. Let me go ahead and play this right now, and you can try to listen for that cymbal hit. Okay, did you hear that? Right over here, there was 2 hits right there. I'm going to play that bit again. Right? That kind of sound. That's what we're going after. Now, here you can see that I've named this specially. I renamed this to give myself a little cheat sheet because I had to play around to figure out the right settings to get the result I wanted. So here we go. We're going to start this by going down over to rotation. I will just press the I key to set a keyframe. All right, and we need to make sure we're at the start of the scene. And now we can go ahead. We go to key, bake sound to F curves, and we are going to play with these settings. So over here you can see these are the settings that we didn't touch for the first round. We just kept them at the defaults. When you hover over it, Blender does give you some explanation about what it's doing. I have to be honest, I still don't fully understand a lot of these, but I do know that what we're after is this one here, because we're going after that high-pitched noise. So we're going to set a value here. We're going to set this to 10,000, which is 10,000 hertz. So anything below this value, for example, drums and the guitar, it won't get picked up. Now, the other thing we need to do is modify threshold. So it says here the minimum amplitude value needed to influence the hull curve. So I did do some testing and I found out that 0.15 was a suitable value for that. Okay, so those are the options. So we changed lowest frequency to 10,000. We set threshold to 0.15. Now I'm going to select that same audio file and click Bake Sound to F Curves. We can definitely see these peaks, and that's where we were hearing the sound from that cymbal hit. Okay, so let's play this now. And you know what? I am going to zoom in on this part specifically so we can see that better. Okay, let's hit the play. Alright, so that worked pretty well. It was really only activating when there was that sound of the cymbal hit. But let's zoom in a bit over here and see what's going on. There is still a lot of animations happening here. It's hard to notice because you see the amplitude of these waves is very low, so 0.217 degrees, so not much at all. But still, I don't want to see that at all. The thing about baking, though, is that you can't actually change any of these values, not normally. For example, I can try to press the A key like we would normally do to select all points, but that doesn't work here. I cannot press the B key. I mean, I'm pressing the B key now, and which would normally allow me to do a box select. For example, over here, press B, I can do a box select, no problem. But up here, it doesn't work at all because of the fact that this is a baked F-curve. However, it is possible to unbake. We can go to the key menu and right down over here, Unbake curve. So when we select this option, now all of a sudden everything is regular keyframes. We can select whichever points we want to change them. So let's go ahead and do that. If I wanted to not see any animations on these small little things, but only see it on the big hits, we can do that. So I will start by pressing Alt-A to deselect all the points that I don't want to touch. Let's figure out what we want to do here. I don't want to get rid of these points. For now, I just want to set them to 0. And one way to do that is to select the points and then snap them to our cursor value. So to do the cursor value, what we can do is we can expand the panel here. We can click or press the N key. And it's this option right here, the cursor Y value. I'm just going to type a 0 in there, brings that down. And now, let's press the N key to hide that. I will go ahead and do a box select on all these other points. So I will press B, and I will select all of these, like that. And now we're going to snap them into position. So you could press Shift S on your keyboard, and then you get this nice pop-up radial menu. And what we would want to do is say selection to cursor value. But let me just hit escape for a second and show you how you could do that from over here. And it's this second option, snap. And there you go, there's those options again. And we want selection to cursor value. So as soon as I do that, all of those selected keyframes go down to the 0 value. And we're left with just the bigger ones. So let's go ahead and press the play button. That's great, right? So now we've seen how we can bake sounds just normally or applying some options so that we're targeting specific frequencies in the audio file. Okay, well that's it for the basic demonstration. But before we go, I'd like to note that you can apply this technique with more than just recorded music. Some of you sharp-eyed people in the audience may have noticed that I look a bit different today. Let me pull back the curtain and reveal Exhibit C. What the heck are you looking at, you ask? When does this happen in this YouTube video? Now. You're looking at now, folks. Everything that happens now is happening now. What happened to then? We passed then. When? Just now. We're at now. How is this supposed to help with the audience's comprehension? You're right, I could have just said that the bake sound feature works well with voice recordings too and left it at that. But then how would I fit in this Spaceballs reference?